Hello again to everyone here. Thank you so much for coming tonight. My name is Emily. I'm so happy to see you all. And it looks like many of you are enjoying food. We are so lucky to have gotten food from Picnics in Red Wing, and they just do a bang up job. So thank you so much to Picnics. Hopefully you all have gotten a drink. We have two just wonderful bartenders back there. One of them is my husband, and I keep telling everyone to tell him that I sent them, and he'll fix them up real nice with something for free. All right, so thank you so much for coming. I'm going to welcome Val Lockhart to the stage.
All right. Thank you. I'm Valerie Lockhart. I'm the communications director here at Ignite. Thank you for being here. I get the opportunity to give you some logistics of the evening, and thank all of you for being here. So we have, if you haven't found the restrooms, there's one back there. There's lots of them in the hallway out here in the square. So try to find your way to one of them if you need them. There are also trash and recycling in multiple places around the room. Cans only in the recycling, please. I want to thank everybody for being here. Thank our sponsors and funders and community supporters. I also want to give a huge round of applause to our Ignite team for being here. And I forgot we have slides. So. This is what happens when you try to talk and do AV, right? Let's see. All right, so sponsors, there they are. Thank you to Smith for providing the funding for our cash prizes this evening. And to DMC, Destination Medical Center, for stepping up as our visionary sponsors this week, or this year. Also Launch Minnesota and Minnesota Employment and Economic Development. And then, of course, all of our E1 partners here in the room and the EDA. Big thank you to our Ignite team for pulling this off tonight and going through this whole season together. I want to give a special shout out to Sahar for stepping up and doing coaching with our finalists. So thank you, Sahar, for your knowledge sharing.
It's been an honor, so it was a lot of fun, so thank you.
Good, thank you. And then the other thing that I want to announce tonight and say hello, because I think she just took a bite of food, but I want to welcome Pam Bishop for being our new interim executive director. We're so excited to have you here and look forward to working with you more often. I think that is it. And I'm going to bring Emily back up here, our wonderful MC for the evening. I will be running tech.
Thank you. I'll sing a song soon. Maybe at the end. All right, so it is now, actually, what I would like to do is I would like to say thank you again to LaunchMN for funding for tonight, and also to Smith, Tim, and Peggy Paul, who's there, for not only their funding of the cash prizes that will be awarded tonight, but also their partnership. We have some really great partners in this ecosystem that we work with, and they are one of them that we love. And now I would like to introduce Tim Penny. Hold on, I have a few things to say first. It is an honor to introduce Tim Penny, whose nearly 2 decades of visionary leadership at Southern Minnesota Initiative Foundation, or SMIF, have left an indelible mark on Southern Minnesota. Under Tim's guidance, SMIF became a driving force in advancing early childhood development, fostering entrepreneurship, and revitalizing communities across the region. Tim is retiring soon, and we're so lucky to have had him in this region. Thank you so much, Tim.
Thanks much. It has been the honor of a lifetime to be the president and CEO of the Southern Minnesota Initiative Foundation. We serve at this foundation, here's one of our board members up front here, Beth. We serve, and another, Chris Shad, somewhere in the room, another board member. We serve a 20-county region in south central, southeastern Minnesota, been around almost 40 years. We are a community and economic development foundation. And we do three things. We do a lot of small town work, we do a lot of entrepreneur work, and that's what brings us to this partnership. And we invest a couple million annually in early childhood needs in the region. But in terms of the entrepreneur work, lots of partners in this room. SBDC is here. Reddy from Rochester is here. DMC, we've done some work with them and actually brought dollars into this region along with them and other entities when deed dollars are made available, Main Street, Promise Act, those kinds of things. So our mission in economic development is just to be a good partner. Our motto at the foundation is collaborating for regional vitality, and that brings us into partnership with so many other great organizations that are trying to build the economy here in our part of the state. And the E1 partnership is one of those partnerships that's quite important. Your new interim is going to do a great job for you, Pam Bishop, so congratulations on that. And with that, those are my remarks, and I only get to come back later to do the fun part, and that's to bring out these big supersized checks for the first, second, and third place winners tonight. So I love the vibe and the buzz in this room. Let's keep it going.
Thank you so much. All right. I would like to take a moment to recognize past Ignite Cup winners. Do we have any in the room? I know we do. Please stand if you have been an Ignite Cup winner. Thank you for being here. I would now like to welcome anyone who is in our E1 network. If you are an E1 partner, would you please stand so that we can recognize you? The Entrepreneurs First Network is a network of 17 organizations that all serve a different role in helping entrepreneurs.
Oh, I know.
Nobody is going to stand. Thank you all for being here. We are absolutely thrilled to be here tonight to recognize the work of some amazing entrepreneurs across southeastern and southern Minnesota. Before we get to our main event, we want to share a bit about the road to the Ignite Cup final. We had 35 eligible applications that were received from across southern Minnesota, and that is wonderful. These applications were reviewed by 12 round one reviewers representing many of our E1 partner organizations. 10 inspiring semifinalists pitched to 8 semifinalist judges in early March. And you can find all the names of the round one reviewers and semifinalist judges on pages 12 and 13 near the back of your program. Reviewers and judges, please stand so that we can recognize you. I'm really giving you kind of a workout tonight. Stand up, sit down. Thank you so much for all of your help reviewing and judging. We had 10 amazing companies compete during the semifinalist round, including our 5 finalists tonight. The other semifinalists are listed on the screen. Soon, they will be listed on the screen. There they are. And they are showcased on the table. I'll figure that out later. I have something to give you. If there are semifinalists here, would you please stand? Thank you so much. Thank you for all of your work. And then, so before we get to our pitches, we are going to hear from the winner of last year's Ignite Cup.
Last year's Ignite Cup winner, Freedom Vehicle Lifts, didn't stop after taking the title. Founder Josh Rodewald sharpened his pitch, competed in the Minnesota Cup, and joined the Ignite Accelerator this last fall, gaining valuable mentorship in both finance and marketing. Since then, His team has been recognized across their industry by both associations and influencers alike. And recently, they landed a significant Launch Minnesota Innovation Grant. Big things are continuing to happen, and it all started with a bold pitch. Here's a message from Josh to this year's competitors.
Hey everybody, this is Josh Rodewald with Freedom Vehicle Lifts here from Lake City, Minnesota, last year's Red Wing Ignite Cup winner. I'm just here to wish everybody good luck at tonight's competition, so good luck to everyone.
Thank you. I would now like to recognize and thank our finalist judges who are here tonight. Beth Beneke, owner of Busy Baby. Kaylin Oliver, the director of the Min Cup. And Ayodeji Oyebola. Thank you for being here. All right, and to tell you I'm going to tell you a little bit about how things are going to work. We're going to go through our pitches. Each company will have 5 minutes to pitch, and then the judges will have 5 minutes to ask questions. Only the judges are going to ask questions tonight, but I will point out that during our networking time, as the judges are deliberating, the companies will be at their tables and you can interact with them, and they have some fun things that they can show you and tell you at that time. While the judges are deliberating, Val is going to lead the People's Choice Award voting process. So you'll have your chance to vote for the company that you think should be the People's Choice company. And then you probably already know this, but first place tonight wins $7,500 and a seat at the Min Cup. Thanks to Kaylin Oliver and the Min Cup for your partnership on that. Second place wins $5,000. Third place wins $2,500. The People's Choice winner gets $500, and these cash prizes are all thanks to Smith. Thank you. We also have a special new award donated by Beth Beneke, owner of Busy Baby. She's also the co-chair of the IgniteMN board, and you'll learn more about that award later. Top finishing companies will also have the opportunity for pro bono legal support provided by one of the E1 partners, Legal Corps and Launch Minnesota. And now it is my pleasure to introduce John Swart and Cytotheryx to the stage.
Can I do this blind? That's the question. Well, good evening, and thank you so much for the opportunity to talk a little bit about Cytotheryx. Cytotheryx is a spin-out of the Mayo Clinic based in Rochester, Minnesota. We're a preclinical cell therapy company.
Sorry, I might need you to take the handheld one.
Okay.
Take the silver, the,
You got the black one?
yeah.
We're a preclinical cell therapy company based in Rochester, Minnesota, focused on liver disease. Liver disease is the 12th leading cause of death in the United States today, largely because, unlike other organ systems, the liver doesn't have a functional replacement. So people in liver failure don't have any other option other than transplant. Liver cells are a potential replacement for whole organ transplant, even a better opportunity for whole liver transplant. Liver cells, hepatocytes we call those, do all the functional activities of the liver. They synthesize proteins, detoxify the blood, and metabolize drugs. The challenge is liver cells, just like whole organs, are very difficult to source. And so what Cytotheryx does is Cytotheryx has a proprietary technology that allows us to produce large quantity, millions of doses of liver cells. So what we do is we take in organ donation. We then isolate hepatocytes, liver cells from that organ, validate those cells. And then once validated, we pass those cells through our proprietary bioincubator. That bioincubator gives us the ability to produce literally millions of doses of cells, which we then use for our therapeutic programs. And so those therapeutic programs include an acute liver failure treatment. Acute liver failure is something like Tylenol overdose or antibodies that destroy the liver and you run into immediate sudden liver failure. So if you go to that next one. We have a bioartificial liver that we've developed in collaboration with the Mayo Clinic to support people in acute liver failure. We also provide these cells to the research world for hepatitis virus type research. And then we also use these cells as a direct cell transplant for genetic liver disease and chronic liver disease. And in the interest of time, I just want to talk a little bit about genetic liver disease. Over 1,000 children every year are born with something we call genetic liver disease. And if they don't receive a transplant or some other type of therapy, gene therapy or the like, many of them will not see their 16th birthday. Whole organ transplant is a potential solution for those children. But even in whole organ transplant, if that child's lucky enough to receive a transplant, they'll still be on immunosuppression for their entire life, which creates other issues. Cell transplant works actually better. And not only do we bring that solution to the table with our ability to produce clinical quantities of cells, we've actually genetically engineered these liver cells so that they are an improved opportunity. These cells are genetically engineered so the body doesn't reject them, which makes them universal. We can give them to any child without the need for immunosuppression. We validated to show that these cells have regenerative capability, so they engraft well and expand rapidly. And then we have additional genetic engineering that allows us to expand those cells once they're inside the patient to make sure that there is a durable, curable dose of those cells in the liver. And so the impact is undeniable. One universal treatment for all children with liver disease, genetic liver disease, no immunosuppression, which would cause other infections, that delivers a durable cure for life. Can you give me the next slide? And so it's a huge market opportunity. On the cell therapy side, if you look at just one rare disease indication, you're looking at an obtainable market in the hundreds of millions. If you look at all rare diseases, in the billions of dollars. Once you start to include chronic, you're looking at multiple billions of dollars of opportunity on the therapeutic side. If you look at what does the timeline look like, or how do we develop this product, we have plenty of proof of concept in small animals to show that this will work. We are in the next 2 to 3 years developing the same proof of concept in large animals. And then we hope to do human clinical trials in 2027 and 2028 with our 2 programs, bringing that product to the market in early 2031 or 2032. And so in order to get there, we're raising a Series A funding, $45 million, which will take care of or will deliver our laboratory expansion needs, do all of the animal studies necessary, and pay for our phase 1/2 human clinical trials. We've assembled a fantastic team. That team has entrepreneurial experience. They have the technical experience necessary to do the work that's laid in front of us. And they have multiple successful exits already. Our scientific advisory board is world renowned. You can go to the last slide. And so if you're interested in joining us on this journey to deliver a hope for children with thousands of children with genetic liver disease, tens of thousands of adults with chronic liver disease, please let us know. Contact us at the emails listed here. We have a table which we'll be at after the presentations. Happy to connect there as well. So thank you very much.
Give this mic to the judges.
Okay. I'm going to take this off. Hold on.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Oh. Is this one on too?
You might need to turn it on.
You do have to turn it on. It's one of those. All right, so I'm going to give the mic to judges if you have questions.
I'll start. Oh. All right, so I just sell a baby product, so all this medical mumbo jumbo goes right over my head. Obviously, there's a huge impact, but can you tell us more about how and when it will be monetized? What's the business model? And of the three massive impacts you're going to have, which one do you think is going to be the most powerful and first?
Yeah, so if we can get back to the timeline there. So there's two ways to look at monetization, right? So it's when the company itself can monetize. Our company is a small company. We're based in Rochester, Minnesota. In order to get an FDA-approved product into the patient, you need to go through phase 1, 2, and then phase 3 human clinical trials. Phase 3 human clinical trials are very expensive. So the most likely scenario is after we show positive data in phase 1, 2, that we'll partner that, or we will be purchased as a company from a partner. We already have engaged with strategic partners. So Baxter, everyone's heard of Baxter. They have a huge liver dialysis business. They're interested they have a huge kidney dialysis business. They're interested in the liver dialysis program. Novo Nordisk is very interested in the cell therapy program. So we're already looking at these strategic potential partners and engage with them.
I'm sure this type of research is pretty confidential and there's not a lot of people flaunting what they're coming out with, but what competition do you have that you know of right now?
Yeah, there are actually a number of companies looking at liver disease because liver disease is a huge problem. 12th leading cause of death, no other treatment other than organ transplant. The challenge has always been producing liver cells. And so everyone else in the field is trying to take some sort of stem cell and make it act like a liver cell. So we call those hepatocyte-like cells. And so there are 4 or 5 other companies in the field trying to make hepatocyte-like cells that do these functions. The difficulty or the difference with our product is our product maintains full functionality on all these different levels. So whether it be protein production that are necessary for life, whether that be drug metabolism, whether that be the conversion of ammonia to urea to remove that toxin from the blood, our cells are fully functional. Hepatocyte-like cells don't meet that standard.
So we talked about funding. Beyond the financing, what else do you need to make this timeline a reality?
A whole bunch of good talent, right? So we currently have 10 people in our company. Once we have the Series A in, we intend to hire probably around 30 different individuals to add to the team. And so we've been able to, very fortunate, the Rochester area is fantastic from a facility standpoint. So we've been able to find the facilities we need, and hopefully very shortly we'll be hiring a whole bunch of talent in order to help us move the programs forward.
Thank you. Can you tell us about the risk that you face as a business? Because every business has a risk. So, and also what are you doing to really mitigate against that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we're an early stage company. There are technological challenges that we still have to meet. There are, any time that you're talking about human patients, you're never really sure how those studies are going to go, right? So we have really good small animal data that shows that this is going to work very effectively. We actually have some large animal data that usually translates pretty well. So we believe we have a very good, clear path to the clinic. But once you get to the clinic, you need to see those effective results.
All right, with your last 90 seconds, can you tell us about your most recent win and the thing you're most excited about right now?
The most recent win as a team. I'm at that age now where everyone in the company is younger than I am. And I used to feel like I was kind of the hot shot in the company. And now I feel like I've got all these talented people that work for me. And it's so inspiring to see them figuring out some of these hurdles, right? So we've had some significant technological hurdles that have challenged us the first few years. And we've been able to cross those. And so to see text messages running around and the team excited and celebrating those victories has been super encouraging to me.
Thank you so much again to John. I am now very excited to welcome Peyton Moss and Justina Palmer with Grow with Flora.
Wonderful. Thank you. Okay.
Sorry.
The clicker. Sure. Thank you.
You just let me know when.
Okay. Girls are getting their periods earlier than ever before, and no one is addressing this educational process. What initially started as a way to teach single dads about raising their daughters and giving them adequate puberty and period education has soon grown and evolved into educating all growing girls. Let's introduce to you Flora. So these are our target users. Meet Peyton and Justina, two super confident girls. But what you can't see here is that when Peyton got her period at 11, it made her feel scared, sad, depressed, and extremely uneducated.
And I was on the opposite end of the spectrum, a late bloomer who felt equally as anxious and alone during this time. Peyton, next slide, please. Thank you.
There we go.
Peyton and I aren't the only ones who experience these feelings of anxiety and social isolation during this time. The average age of a girl first receiving her period is 11.9 years old in the US, but this number is rapidly decreasing and something educational resources have yet to adjust to. And this is leaving girls more anxious, depressed, and feeling socially isolated than ever before.
Yes, so what are the current methods? Well, traditionally, girls have learned about their ever-changing body in a 1 hour, 1 day lesson at school, a book casually left on a bed, maybe an awkward conversation had with a parent or guardian, or for a lot of girls, there's no education at all. This makes girls feel awkward, incomplete, and extremely confused.
That is why we have built Flora, which we are so excited to share with you today. Flora is a period and puberty education app designed specifically for girls ages 8 to 14 that meets them where they are at in their journey. So we get rid of that one-size-fits-all model we're currently operating off of. With our content, it has been medically approved by doctors and also created to be bite-sized, so it's suitable for girls at any age going through this journey. We also have our AI-integrated chatbot, Diana, who helps answer questions for girls who might be too intimidated to ask a parent or guardian. And so with Flora, we encourage girls to form healthy habits, learn more about mental health and wellness as well, and just grow with this phase with confidence.
Yeah, so we've actually gamified our platform. We want girls to learn and have fun while doing so. Upon download, girls will be prompted with a quiz that starts them where they need to be in their curated content learning journey. And we do have a huge focus on mental health and wellness, as that's a really big part of this process as well. We have our daily check-in feature, and then we also have an in-app calm center. And then once again, you'll see our friendly face of Diana there at the bottom, and she will respond to any questions girls may have that might be too specific or potentially embarrassing in a mother-like tone.
So what is currently out there? The femtech market is growing, which is wonderful, but we're really only focusing on women right now. So people who have had their periods for a while don't really need the education as much as younger audiences. And so what Flora aims to do is fill this very large gap in the market with interactive and also age-appropriate content. So girls no longer run the risk of searching something that's not suitable for their eyes, but we also have those interactive features, so it's engaging to learn with.
Yeah, so this is how you can access our content. So we have our content library for free on our website, and then to access our premium features, you'll download our native app, and that will be such features such as Diana. And then we also have a duo model, and the duo is for guardians and girls to learn together, and that's going to be just $12.99 a month. Yeah, so we're initially launching for the 14.4 million girls, growing girls in the United States, ages 8 through 14. We're then honing in on the percentage that are willing to spend on health-related mobile apps. And then we're taking a conservative 1% penetration of our SAM in order to get our 11.68 million for our serviceable obtainable market.
As for our development timeline, we are currently in the heart of phase 1 and working on building out our MVP. Phase 2 focuses on our soft launch with our full content library available to users on our website. And then phase 3 is the most exciting of them all, when our native app is ready for users to download with all those engaging resources as well. As you can see, there's a lot of red on this screen, but this isn't anything that we're scared of, as this is typical for tech companies. And we do have projected that we will achieve consistent profitability in Q3 of 2027. More on that path to profitability. Break even occurs in July of 2027, but to reach this, we only need 10,375 paying monthly subscribers, which is a very small percentage of our SOM, and this is also based off of conservative forecast. As for our team, we have a growing and dynamic team at Grow with Flora. My name is Justina. I am currently a venture capital analyst at Traction Capital, in addition to being a co-founder of Flora.
Yeah, and my name's Peyton, and I have experience in mobile app development and design, and I'm also a co-founder of Grow with Flora.
And for our ask, we are currently seeking ways to earn non-dilutive funding through competitions like this, as well as grants. But in order to achieve phase 2 and phase 3, unfortunately, we cannot pay that out of our pockets. So we are looking to raise an additional $300,000 to cover those development costs. 70% of that will go to software development. We're also looking to add a 1099 medical expert to our team to help us develop that content, as well as marketing campaigns for both our B2C and our B2B.
So we are seeking mentorship and beta testers to help bring Flora to life and help guide the growing 14.4 million girls. Thank you.
Sorry. No, you're good. Thank you both. That was fantastic. You mentioned both B2B and B2C. Mm-hmm. So can you talk a little bit more about your market and how you're going to get access?
Are you able to click?
Yep. Sorry, we do have a next slide. I'm trying to do a little.
One more. Okay, hold. I don't know. Okay.
Okay, so our B2C model is one that we initially planned for. So for parents to download just the app on the App Store, work with it with their girls. But then we also realized there's a huge market here because the schools have not adapted education at all. So it's the same as it was decades ago. And because the age is decreasing rapidly too, we really need to get this in the schools. So our B2B is primarily going to be independent schools at first. So those schools with higher budgets, a little bit more flexibility. We won't have to work around districts, which is really great. And then also looking at like girl-focused nonprofits, others that can benefit from this, so we can still bring those premium features in an affordable way as well. But B2C will still be available for any parent that's just looking for a resource for their child.
How long do you anticipate your customers using your app? You know, once they learn the stuff, they know it.
Yeah, that's a great question. So puberty typically starts 3 years prior to a first period, which I think a lot of people don't think about. So we initially thought that our lifetime value of a customer would be around 4 years. So that's when a girl starts her period or starts puberty, moves through her first year of her period as well. We do realize it might be a little bit shorter though, because you can't always tell exactly when puberty started. So our estimates for conservatively, we've budgeted for 18 months of a user, and then they'll generally transition onto more like period tracker apps, things that have more mature content to reach teens and then also women as well.
Thank you. So building on that question, actually, how do you intend to really bring people in at the early stage so that they can use for 3-4 years? How do you intend to do that?
Yeah, so we currently have a couple newsletters that we've been launching so girls can get in on those and kind of be familiarized with what we're going to be launching. And then we do have an Instagram, but one of our partners, and it's on the team slide, but we can just keep it on this one. Or yeah, we can go all the way back. So we are working with a sex educator who is in classrooms. She's at an independent school, and working with her network of getting into different workshops of that, those health educators, we're hoping that we can teach them about Flora and then hope that it can be a take-home device so that the education doesn't stop in the classroom. And I think that's happening around the age of 11. So in order to bring them in, like that's still within our target customer. So we're hoping to, that would be more of the B2B model, get in with the health educators, make sure the education doesn't stop in the classroom, but make sure they can continue their education at home. And then hopefully their lifetime value would continue on from then.
Yeah. And one just other thing to add, keeping them on the platform, that's why we start at the very beginning and work them through that journey. So they take that quiz upon download, like Peyton said, they're able to navigate the chapters as they grow. But because we also have that strong focus on mental health and wellness as well, there's going to be other features that keep girls on our platform for longer, because what we really don't talk about at schools is the hormonal changes that are happening. It's so different at the beginning of puberty versus having your period for a couple of years. So that also helps with our longevity of a customer.
Sorry, I have more questions. I don't know what I should be interested in this a lot.
No, this is great. This is what we need. Reduce the stigma.
Yeah. But anyway, I have a daughter that's at this kind of age at this time. So your target market, they don't make money. Basically, I mean, somebody has to pay for them. How do you want to bring parents in to come and pay for this service?
Yeah, we're pretty clear with like our marketing as well. All of our marketing will be towards parents. They're our target customer since they're paying for it. Our target user is the girl. So there are features for parents, but all of the marketing and even like take home from schools, it'll still be directed towards parents of this is how you can best support your daughter during this time. You can also engage with her so you don't have that loss of connection that so many parents face with their kids as well.
Yeah, I will say our social media platforms are geared more towards the younger audience because, I mean, Facebook will have there for the parents, but some of the Instagram and I didn't mean it. It's market research, guys. They're stats, okay? But okay.
So it looks like you're approaching 1 year since your idea. Congratulations on your progress so far. You can see you've won things. So you can't use your FGSIC challenge as an answer to this question, but what's your most recent milestone achieved and what's the next one you're going to achieve?
Okay, well, everybody, I think the biggest milestone is just hearing the enthusiasm, and obviously like we're passionate about it, we're working on it, but hearing people's individual stories come up to us and just tell us like how impactful it is. I mean, that's kind of basic, but that's what's like keeping us going. And even like earlier, like feel free to talk to us afterwards, but that's the repetitive like excitement of continuing to build it.
Yeah, I think our next win as well, using the FGIC a little bit, but we did move forward to the global finals then. So we do have that competition on May 30th and 31st, which we're very excited about. Sorry. But we also are building our MVP right now, which I think is a big win for us. And we're excited to bring that to life. But thank you all.
Nicely done.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I'm going to jump in really quick.
Yeah.
Two very quick logistical things. We don't control the temp in this space, but I have propped open both doors. So hopefully we'll get some more airflow in here. And if you're from the city, I promise I'm watching the doors. So from a security standpoint, we're safe. The second thing I just wanted to mention, you've seen a couple of difficulties with the slides. Our clickers, we actually have two and neither one of them is working tonight. And we found that out about 5 minutes before we started. They worked fine during all of our tests and then they both went kaput. So that's why there's a little back and forth, and we have extended the time just slightly to give the finalists a little more time since we do. It's not the presentations, it's us. So bear with them on that.
Yep.
That's all.
Thank you. All right. I would now like to welcome Christina Chen with Hope Technologies. Nope, I'm so sorry. I turned my page too soon.
Oh, no, that's what I said.
Actually,
I
I jumped to girls, didn't I?
I know you went right over me.
Sorry.
It's all right. It's all right.
I am so sorry.
I'll do it.
Thank you
I
for your
forgive you.
flexibility,
It's called
and thanks,
pivoting.
Val,
This is
for
what
your
happens.
flexibility too. This is Christine Stensland with Genograms.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to have to use this now, right?
Okay.
We'll let her get set up. I'm sorry, I had to be vocal because I was ready and I was just getting more nervous. All right. We can go, there we go. So we all notice visible traits that we inherit. Blue eyes, curly hair, height. I got my dad's height, which ended any chance of a basketball career. But how do you identify invisible patterns that shape families' function, like addiction, communication styles, or generational cycles of divorce? That's where our company, Genograms, comes in. Next. I'm Christine Stensland, one of the co-founders, and over 19 years ago, my husband and I saw a single PowerPoint slide that changed how we understood our family. It wasn't just a list of names, it was a visual map of what we were creating, this beautiful blended family. Not the traditional kind that lives in one home, but a complex multi-household family system. That one image, a genogram, helped us to see what we were building, and it later sparked us to do something big. So what is a genogram next? It's a powerful tool therapists have used for decades. It's basically a family tree on steroids, showing not just who's related to whom, but the quality of those relationships, health patterns, and behavioral tendencies. When clients see this visual representation of their own family story, light bulbs go off. Suddenly, they understand why certain patterns keep showing up in their lives. So, what's the problem that we're solving? Next is that today's therapists still create genograms by hand, or they struggle with super clunky software that hasn't been updated since the 90s. We're also solving a problem for clients. These static diagrams feel impersonal and disconnected from their lived experience. They don't see themselves in generic symbols or outdated graphics. And in a world where therapists are busier than ever and sessions are increasingly virtual, these old approaches just don't work. So we built Genograms.com, a modern digital software that makes creating these visual family maps interactive and simple. It makes it easy for clinicians and clients to step into the same story. One therapist told us, "This used to take me an hour to draw by hand. Now we do it together in minutes with Genograms.com, which means our time can be spent doing the actual healing work." But what makes this powerful isn't just how it works, it's what it unlocks for the people using that. Next, Genograms isn't just a chart, it's a conversation starter. Clients see unhealthy patterns and where they can break them. And maybe if Cinderella and her evil stepmother had used Genograms.com, they would have ended up in therapy, not in a fairy tale. So most clinicians still use paper because the digital tools haven't worked. Genograms.com hits the sweet spot. Clinical depth, simple design, and shared understanding. We're not just updating this tool, we're transforming the experience, and the market is ready. There are over 875,000 mental health professionals, social workers, and counselors in the United States alone. We're starting with private practice therapists who already know and value genograms, but hate the current options. From there, we'll expand to social services, family law, nonprofits, and even genetic counseling. And the best part, the model scales with every clinician, client, and story. Next, we're a subscription-based software as a service, or SaaS model, with monthly and annual plans built to accommodate solo providers or full teams. So far, we have over 200 professionals on our wait list. Our beta users called it a game changer, and we're in talks with larger organizations like social services departments for phase 2 pilots. We're growing, gaining efficiency, and reinvesting in what matters, including future AI features. And people are really seeing the difference. Next. The response from clinicians has been incredibly validating. These aren't just testimonials. They're confirmation that we're solving a real pain point in the therapeutic process. When therapists can show rather than tell, breakthrough moments and mental wellness happen faster. Their excitement reflects the impact and also the team behind it. Next, our team brings deep experience across clinical care, healthcare administration, product strategy, and tech. We've got the expertise and, quite frankly, the grit and the heart to scale this right. We have the right team, and we're ready to take Genograms to the next level. Next. We're raising $200,000 to scale Genograms.com. Funding will support various activities like product development, clinician onboarding, expansion into new markets, and research partnerships. Next. We're also asking for your voice. Share Genograms.com with others who care about how families are seen, understood, and supported. Next. Genograms transforms an outdated tool into a modern solution for generational change. The problem is real. The solution is working. The time is now. Let's change how stories are seen and how generations heal. Thanks for letting me be a part of the story tonight. I'm happy to take your questions. And I'm going to bring my co-founder and husband up because he's part of this journey too. So ask the hard questions to him.
Oh boy. Deal.
Okay.
Fantastic job. I've got 2 questions.
Yep.
Could you clarify the launch timeline and when you are hoping, you said you had 200 on your wait list, when you're hoping to actually put that in the hands of users?
Yeah.
And I noticed on your kind of solution slide, you talked about predictive analysis. I'm intrigued by that, so I would love to hear more.
I can answer the first one. We actually are going to launch on April 15th. We had beta testing last fall, and so we will go to the market on April 15th. So we're pretty excited. And he can talk about predictive analytics.
All right, this isn't a real fast, easy question. One of the things that's not obvious when you look at it is we're actually collecting a large database of families and all of the connections that sit in the background. We were talking to a researcher from the University of North Carolina earlier this month, and he told us, my goodness, we always talk about having this kind of data in the, kind of in the conclusion section of the paper, but we've never had it before. He says, I'm drooling. And so part of our hope in doing this was to be able to start to understand families and what are those things that matter and what are the strategies that may help improve them.
Real quick additional question, sorry. When you're talking about that amount of data, can you just touch on kind of the privacy and the security that you'll be using?
Yeah, we're HIPAA compliant. We're running the app through AWS, and so they sign the BAA. So everything is encrypted at rest and encrypted in transport. There's a NAT gateway. I can go on for a little bit, but I'll save you more.
So can you tell us more about your team? Because I know you probably only talk about 2 or 3 people. So just
Sure. If you go back to the team slide, I consider our team anybody who's helped us along the way. So there's a lot of people in this room. These are the 3 main folks. Mike and I, you've met. This is actually my son. So it's an application that was built by a family for families. He is very smart and works for a large Fortune 500 company now, but they've allowed him to continue to work on this because we don't compete. But really, literally, everybody that we talk to, I've had leadership coaches, I have a sales coach, we've talked to SBDC, we've talked to Ignite here has been part of it. We have marketing, anybody who's ever helped us, we have programmers in this room that have stepped up when we needed them. And so I'm really, really resourceful when I need some help with stuff. And I also like to help other people back. So we have a huge team of people who have been cheering for us and helping us get to this moment.
I'm going to ask a similar question to the other companies. Obviously, you have an upcoming milestone, just a couple weeks away. I'd love to hear more about that. How do you have the waiting list? What's the launch logistically look like? And then what's the next milestone after that?
Yeah, so the launch, the wait list we have ready to go, but I'm actually going to do it in waves because this is still a launch of a new product. So I'll start with our 40 very active beta users will help us with the first wave, which probably be 2 weeks of inundating them, and then the next 40 off of that wait list that we haven't maybe talked to in a little while. So we're going to do that in waves so that we can fix the app and continue to go. We also have several, we'll call them key opinion leaders that are ready to share, including with people that work with online therapists that run their own therapy part, like somebody who does supervisors. She has 1,200 supervisors. So when you get your licensing, you have to be supervised for somebody for so long. And I met her at a behavioral health tech conference and talked founder to founder. And she's like, absolutely, let me know. I'll send it to 1,200 of our supervisors. So those are all on the list, but we're trying to make sure that we do this smart and so that we can continue to build features that are wanted and needed.
And then the next milestone, what does that look like?
Yeah, the next milestone, I actually would say it's when we start working with our phase 2 partners. We have initial conversations with Olmsted County Social Services at a director decision maker level who's interested in talking to us further to come in and talk about, he said, if you go to one of my further slides in the end, I couldn't put, this is too busy, not that one, but this gentleman right here, and it was way too busy, but I wanted to see, we've already talked to a lot of people that are really wanting to have more conversations with us. And he told me literally, quote, we use Genograms in everything that we do in CPS. And he says, if you fit into our workflow and you help us get closer to the family and you make it more efficient, let's talk. And so he's setting up that meeting with his team right now. So I'm actually excited about that. And then the very last one here is a Cradle to Career, which is a nonprofit locally that connect in Rochester that connects family serving organizations, and they're also ready to go for a phase 2 to roll out to their partner agencies. So that's what I think is our next big wave after we get through the private practices. Is this fall we'll start launching some pilots in larger organizations and see how that goes.
What's the pricing model?
So the pricing model is we do have a one-time fee because sometimes if people want to just try it out. So that's a $40 charge. And then our monthly charge is $50 because we went and sent you to use it. And then we have an annual one, and I can't, like $400 some dollars, I can't remember that one, but it is a unlimited use for the monthly or the annual right now. But that's what we'll find out on April 15th if those are the right prices, you know, until somebody puts a credit card in, who knows, right?
Thanks for your flexibility. All right, thank you everybody for your flexibility. Now I'd like to welcome Christina Chen to the stage with Hope Technologies.
Hi everyone, my name is Christina Chen. I'm a geriatrician, which is a doctor who takes care of older people. And I'm not sure if you're aware, but a third of us are going to get dementia someday. That's a third of us in this room. So I'm just going to pick this third of the room here, which is largely my caregiver, my work coworkers. But the rest of you here are going to be caregivers someday. 80% of us. This is going to involve all of us. But I wanted to share a picture of my grandmother. This is my grandmother. She lived with us until she was 99 years old. 4 generations of ladies here eating ice cream. Grandma did not have dementia. She was able to retain all of her memories, lived a beautiful life, and it's something that I wish for all of my patients and for all of you as well. Unfortunately, most people who live with dementia end up in the nursing homes and memory care units, away from their families and away from their loved ones, and they end up in places like this, where they spend the last years of their lives away from a familiar environment, and this is what we're trying to change. Caregivers this is a very emotional experience for caregivers as well. They live with a lot of guilt and burden, understanding what their families are going through and wondering if there's anything else they can do from their end. And the crazy thing is we have learned about Alzheimer's. We know about Alzheimer's for the past 120 years, but there has been no cure. We've spent a lot of money on medications that do not work and very little innovation in that space. And so what we are doing is thinking a little bit different. If there is no cure, what can we do to make the lives better without adding more medications, improving the environment and the experience of living, the quality of life, helping solve the emotional burden, and really honoring the person behind the disease and preserving their dignity. And so what we have built is a dementia care room that is driven by the science of cognitive health, because we are putting together things that we do know work. Simple things like music therapy and lighting solutions, reminiscent therapy, putting it all into one space that where a person is immersed every day, day in, day out, may help with their cognition. And the good thing is it's not FDA, we don't have to have FDA approval because it's not a medical device. We're just using everything that already exists and putting into it the same space that has therapeutic value for brain health. And so imagine if you can give back to your family. Imagine if you can give back memories, things that they enjoy, music that they enjoy. And we call it the Wonder Wall because the purpose is to instill joy and wonder back into their lives. Imagine if you can give them images of love, notes of love, reminders and routines that are important to them so they can have purpose and meaning in their days and have things to look forward to. And we have already done this. We have a prototype, a room that's in Rochester, Minnesota, in a memory care room. We've had 2 people living in there. And as you can see, the lady who lived there loved the beach. So we gave her a lot of scenes of that, and she really enjoyed it. And now we just want to make it better and more comfortable. And we're designing a better space that has more features, that so family can creatively get involved in content creation, that they can have an application to work with. And for staff who are taking care of many, many patients, they're able to easily do that and seamlessly be able to do their work with more efficiency. And so we've done a lot of market research and looked at the competitive landscape, and we know that this is a growing market, not just in the nation, but across the world. And as you all know, it's going to affect all of us to some degree. degree, right? And so to do this well, we've got to understand that most people actually also not live in memory care facilities. They live in assisted living, in long-term care, and many places outside of the nursing home. So there's a much bigger market than we know. And that's why there's a lot of technologies that are trying to work within the senior living space. But the problem is they don't innovate. They're not focusing on the environment. And none of these technologies have automation. And automation is key because if the brain cannot remember what to do, we have to do it for them. We have to remind them of what needs to be done. And so that is how we're different. We have a short-term, a 6-month soft launch plan, and a long-term plan. In short-term, we have a partnership with a long-term care facility where we have 3 beta test rooms and also planning to renovate 15 Hope integrated rooms that's going to be ready for people to move in. And this is going to cost a little bit of money. And so what we are looking for is $225,000 for room setup fees, 15 rooms for renovations and software development. That's the total cost. But also, if the subscription model is $500 per room for 15 rooms, we have a revenue of about $90,000 annually. Just to put it into perspective, people are paying a lot of money for their loved ones to receive a level of care that they are not getting. And so we are adding value to that value gap. Next slide. So our ask is not just funding, but for all of us as a community, it takes a village to drive change, right? So everyone in this room, I know you have skill sets. I know you are probably a caregiver to some degree. If you have ideas, if you are willing to be a beta tester, if you have skill sets in tech or videography or content creation, we want your help. And if you have deep pockets, this is the amount that we need to make an impact, to help us get to the next phase. Because if we are successful, our long-term plan is to work into the Midwest region, targeting about 4,000 rooms, which is 250 facilities, and that's only 1% of U.S.-based facilities. That's growing by exponential degrees. So that's our long-term plan, which if we are successful, and we have done some financial modeling to show that by year 4, we can make a scalable impact to hopefully reach a lot of people, help a lot of people and their families. So I am so proud of our team, which is just an incredible group of talents, the best of the best that we put together in tech, in health, and operations, finance, design, and we are all grounded in one solid mission, and this is our why statement, because our vision is a world where life experiences are honored, caregivers are empowered, and wonder is restored throughout the dementia care journey. And so we're just grateful for all of our partnerships, all of our people who have supported us, and for all of you for listening today. So I'm out of time, but I'm just going to leave that recap up for you to read.
Great job. 2 questions for you. The first one is when you're talking about that kind of subscription base, it's the $500 a month model.
Yeah.
Is the assisted living facility paying for that, or is it being added to the bill for the folks that are using the rooms?
Great question. We're hoping to partner with assisted living facilities such that that is built into their room and board. And right now, it's crazy that people are paying for meds, for example, $500 a month. Mm-hmm. Wrapping their legs or any other cares is between $200 and $500 a month. So these costs do add up, and we try to integrate this into the room costs so that they don't have to worry about that. Sorry, guys. This is my husband, who is probably can answer a lot of the finance questions, so that's why he's up here with me to moral support too. So.
Fantastic. My other question is, talk about how you're planning to scale something like this. It sounds like right now, especially in the early stages, it's a lot of hands-on work from you, kind of setting up and staging all of that. How does that grow, and what's your plan?
Yeah, so we have a small team of 9 right now, and we're kind of doing things on our own. We're doing things together, but we eventually will need more people, installers, for example, to be able to bring all the hardware pieces together. We're planning on partnering with all the facilities in Rochester first, so growing within our home base. And there's 8 facilities in Rochester that we work with, so scaling there, and we're hoping with more marketing efforts, word of mouth, hopefully, and showing that there's good outcome that we can expand from there.
Can you tell me more about the actual product itself? It looks like you've got your prototypes, your MVPs going, and you're maybe a projector onto the wall, but can you tell me more about the actual product and the renovations you'd be doing?
Yeah. So we envision kind of a package, so to speak, where if you buy the Hope product, you get an augmented reality display of some sort. It could be a Samsung Frame TV or a projector, whichever you desire, plus an application where we will train caregivers and staff on the login process and everything. So it's behind the scenes. But the brain behind the TV is actually a Mac Mini that has capability of integrating with a home kit. And so we put all that together based on what their environment is. And so it all comes into one kit that can be outfitted into pretty much any setting, whether it's a bulk sale to a facility or perhaps in the future individual sales to a home or in somewhere in the community. I hope that answers your question. Yeah.
Yeah, on the financial side, are you looking for private pay or insurance payments?
That's a good question. I think in the beginning it's private pay, because as you build more private pay, you build more research behind it, you build the efficacy around it, and then we're hoping to have it be more insurance-based. Because really, I think one thing that Christy, I'll just add to it here, it really just started off because one day she was getting calls a lot from nursing homes saying, hey, we're running out of options to take care of people, we need to sedate them. So there's a lot of that going on right now. And if some of you are caregivers and your loved ones are in the home, a lot of that is probably happening right now. That all costs money. Nobody really wants to do it, but it's happening and it costs things. So we're hoping that with this, patients are happier, the environments are better, they have more tools to take care of them, and thus maybe there's less drugs being used, which actually saves money and is better for the patient, and insurance is willing to pay for it.
What is your most recent milestone that you want to brag about? And then what's the next one you hope to achieve?
Thank you for asking that. We have a milestone slide here. So at the end of March, we hope to have our simulation rooms prepped for install. And actually tomorrow we're going into the facility to put all the furniture together. And then we're going by quarters. For Q2, we want to have 5 rooms installed. We've got all of our operations and logistics process defined. By Q3, hopefully start with generating first paying customers. And we have a goal of at the end of the year to get to 125 rooms installed through the B2B model within the Rochester, Southeast Minnesota area. And just to continue to find partnership and continue to grow our company. So.
So how do you intend to compete with pharmaceutical companies, basically, because they are in the business of medications? So because basically now this is a competition for them right away. So how do you intend to compete with them favorably and be in that market?
Yeah, that's a good question. I wouldn't say we're competing with them because there are still used for medications. So we're not telling them you can't use medications, because there are still value to that, especially if someone's depressed. But this is to add to the current cares, because right now it's either medications or nothing. This is giving families an option to say, hey, I can do something from my end. I'm in California, but I've got an app here that I can send my mom who's anxious, she doesn't like to get baths on Saturdays. I'm going to make sure that she's got some nice music, some sort of visual imagery, something to calm her so that the doctor is not calling for antipsychotic when she's acting out. So this is to complement what's already out there.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It is now my pleasure to welcome our only student-led team pitching this evening, the Wren Writing team, Alira Kaufman and Hannah Hanadel.
I can do that one. Okay, that's all right. Okay, we're good? Okay. Imagine an author. Let's call her Addie. She has an incredible idea, okay? I'm serious. She won't stop talking about it to all of her friends, and they're really annoyed. But the journey from idea to publication is really, really hard. Fun fact, publishing a book, impossible.
All right. She's juggling 5 different tools, one for writing, another for plotting, a separate place for tracking progress because goal setting is a must. And don't even get her started on formatting and marketing. Oh my gosh, she spends more time managing software than she actually does writing. Now imagine if she didn't have to do that. Imagine she could open one platform, just one, and have everything she needs. Writing, plotting, goal setting, collaboration, community that she so desperately wants, and even marketing and arts distribution. That's Wren Writing. And Addie is me. Hi. Addie is also all of you. Did you know that 80% of people in America want to write a book? And that statistic actually holds true in this room. I have talked to so many of you tonight, from Kevin and his adventure stories to Edgar and his biography about being a first-generation American. Stories are everywhere. The problem is only 3% will finish, and less than 1% will get their stories told to the world. Next slide. So a team of authors and engineers have teamed up to bring this to reality. Hi, I'm Alira Kaufman. I'm a graduate student in publishing. I've also been a software engineer for 10 years, and I'm an author of 5 books. Lonnie, our CTO, is the brain behind our low-cost infrastructure, which you'll see later, and has a decade of engineering experience. Mark, a former military veteran turned engineer, is ensuring our systems run seamlessly. And Hannah, an author herself, leads our marketing and in charge of all of the illustrations that you see here today. So next slide, please. Indie authors today face 4 major challenges: high costs, no clear roadmap, a lack of community, and fragmented tools. Writing is already really hard. Navigating the publishing world should not be. Next slide. So Wren Writing is an all-in-one platform where authors don't just write, they build their entire author career. From brainstorming an idea to launching a book, we provide everything they need in one place. We provide the tools and guidance and community to support them every step of the way, from their first draft, next slide please, to their ARC launch. Wren Writing will be there. Think of it as a creative hub. Authors can write, plot, set goals, collaborate, and even format their books without ever leaving our ecosystem. And with built-in gamification, they stay engaged and accountable. Next slide, please. Authors can create stunning books that reflect the creativity inside, and our platform ensures stories aren't just written, they are presented beautifully. Can I get these to you guys? And almost drip. Right now, authors have to use multiple platforms to get the job done. Thank you. Scrivener for writing, Plotter for outlining, Readsy for collaboration, Vellum for formatting, and ProWriting Aid for editing. These are all separate tools, each with their own cost and learning curve. Wren Writing brings it all together, one platform, one subscription, one seamless experience. Next slide. Many people think independent authors don't make money, that it's just a hobby, or they have the same tools as traditional publishers, but that's not true. Indie authors are thriving, and the biggest challenge they face is not writing, it's managing the process effectively and efficiently. Next slide. The largest indie author Facebook group has 80,000 business-focused members. Romance alone dominates the self-publishing space at over 50%. These authors are eager for better tools, and they want to reinvest in their own success. That's where we come in. Next slide. And this isn't an idea, we're actually building it. So right now we're testing with real authors. In September, we launched our beta testers for our writing software. In November, we launched our first public facing feature of Printed Edges, the books that you guys see coming around. And last month, we actually reached profitability by working with about 10 to 15 authors. In May, Wren Writing will launch phase 2 of our platform, which is our marketing features. Next slide. Wren Writing is built on a sustainable, scalable model. We offer affordable subscription for core writing and collaboration features with premium add-ons like advanced formatting and premium printed edges like you've seen. Next slide. And our costs are low. So an average author spends about $200 and we are $25. Next slide. We start with a strong foundation. In year 1, we project $37,000 in revenue, and you can notice that our cost of goods sold is actually really low at about 10 cents an author. Next slide. So our strategy is simple. We're going to do a lead generation model where we take a free book blast. Those lead to readers and exposure, which leads to authors, which leads to us. Next slide. So our ask today is to actually help us get really diverse artistry for the interior formatting. That is where our main cost is going to be associated, as most of our in-house production is taken care of. Next slide. So we would really appreciate if you can stay connected with us, hype us up on social media, and if you're a writer yourself, please come talk to us.
Nice job. You crammed a lot of information there.
Oh, thank you.
Can you go back to the platform?
I would love
and the costs. And what are your costs? Break it down for us.
Can you go ahead and go to slide? I have it right here, slide 15. So this is going to be our financial projection slide, and you'll see our cost to goods sold in line 3 here in a moment.
Sorry, I don't have.
No, that's okay. It's right there.
Oh.
Back one more.
There we go.
Okay. So this cost to goods sold right here is that 4,000. So that's not taking into account our salaries. So this is going to be our profit. This is not after paying ourselves. We have 4 founders that are completely unpaid. It's the life. So this 4,000 is going to be about 10 cents a user. Now, when we do that 10 cents, that's heavy users. Like we're talking like they are on 24/7. They are writing. They want this book done. Those are going to be our heavy users. We average out about 7 cents a user is what we've kind of seen with our testers. In there it also includes a marketing budget as well from Hannah and a couple of like incidentals that we might occur for an author.
So you're going to have to pay yourself at some point.
I know.
You're going to want to. Tell us about that.
Right here in between year 1, year 2, when we hit that 400 user mark is when we will all begin taking salaries. Hannah will be our first salary individual. And that is supposed to be projected back here in October. Do you mind going forward one slide? The reason why we think that this is going to be the case is actually the lead generation model. Imagine 1,000 authors all putting their book on free or promotion. These are very commonly done within the romance industry called a Stuff Your Kindle Day event. Very cool for readers because you get a bunch of free books. Okay, so those books go free. They get really good exposure with readers from our Wren Writing side. So we do have things for readers as well. And then if we just convert 1% of those users or authors, we now have 10 new authors. And that continues to cycle and cycle and cycle. We have automated the process on our end so we can run these asynchronously. And the page will populate and the author just needs to add in their ASIN to pull all of their metadata for their books. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay.
This is more of a fun question. Yeah. Tell us about the name. How did you come up with that?
Oh, Wren Writing?
Yeah.
So there's alliteration there. So Wren is a bird, and in a lot of creativity, especially poetry, it is considered the druid or the artistry bird. They're also the song singer or the storyteller. So Wren is kind of that inspirational bird. We actually have a variety of Wrens with all different names and backstories that work in our gaming world called Inkwell. Fairy Wren is what I use to represent myself that you saw on our 3rd slide.
Very cool. Just curious. No. My next question is, can you talk about kind of what partnerships you might need in the future to make all this happen? Who are the other folks you need to get buy-in from and get engaged?
Yeah, so we are actually talking with 2 other companies within the indie space right now. So we've talked with Royal Road, which is super big in the lit RPG world. They do subscription-based writing. And we've talked with Ream Stories, which is really big in the romance world. Again, another kind of that subscription. So, you know, books are being released kind of like TV shows every week. And authors will type it up and then post it, and then readers can participate. So we've already talked with them, and then in the future, we will probably bring on another individual to help with the marketing. On the engineering side, once we start taking salaries, I will probably step back to handle more of the business side, with the 2 engineers already on our team handling most of the day-to-day.
Okay, so let's assume that I'm an author. I want to write. On the marketing side of things, how do you market their books? How do you get their books out to the world? Because again, you say this is a full-blown platform for everything. So tell me about that.
Yeah, so marketing is interesting because we're always fighting for visibility, right? Well, authors, especially romance authors and lit RPG authors, are really community-driven. And one of the best things that you can do as an author is to build your newsletter, because you own that list. You own that readership list. So we're going to do it 2 ways. So authors within the marketing phase that we're going to launch in May, they will have group promos and newsletter swaps. A group promo is like a mini book blast, right? Think like 30 authors, maybe 10 authors. Their book might not be free. Maybe they're collecting email leads. They all get together and leverage their own networks to push everyone else's book, right? So that leads to increased engagement on their own newsletter. Newsletter swaps are 1-to-1. So I might swap with Hadley over here. She might swap with me because we have similar readership base. Now on the Wren Reading side, when we have book blasts, readers are going to be signing up with their email to get notified of the next free books, right? So they're getting more and more authors that they're going to be noticing, but we get their email and their information. So we can now take those emails and start pushing and driving traffic to those group promos. So we are a B2B2C.
Val, can you navigate to their slide with the kind of screenshots of what it might look like? I know.
Two more.
They say when you have a baby, you guys probably don't know this yet, you're a little young, but it takes a village. Mm-hmm. And I will tell you, it also takes a village to start a small business. And you talk about here having a community. So I'm assuming it takes a village to also write a book. Can you tell us more about the community you're building, what the platform looks like, and how your customers interact with each other?
Yeah, of course. So every Wednesday on Discord, we actually run writing sprints. So sprints are select periods of time where you all write together and then you have a break similar to a Pomodoro method. So there you're meeting other authors, you get to talk about your ideas, you get to wallow about all of the sadness, it's all of the above. We found in our user research that just like going to the gym, you need friends with you. Okay, so that is the same for writing. So most of the community-driven features are through Discord. We are building a bot integration. And then hopefully in fall, we will have a chat to chat. So you'll be able to email or talk, and you will be able to actually form nests. So you can have a leaderboard because everyone likes friendly competition, except for Hannah. She can't compete with me because she is a marathoner and I am a sprinter. And those do not go together. So you have nests so you can stay motivated. Here you can see we have statistics. So the hardest part of setting a goal is making sure they are obtainable and achievable. So we want to be able to track your writing, give you statistics because our brains lie to us. Fun fact. So you might be like, I'm really good at writing at 5 p.m. No, you're not. You need food. This is our marketing. So you can add in your book by your ASIN. And then here you can see all the books. And then for plotters, which I am not, you can go ahead and plot all of your material.
Okay, last question because everyone else got it. What's your most proud milestone you've reached and what's the next one?
Yeah, would you mind going forward like 3 slides? So our biggest milestone is obviously profitability. We hit that around February with our 10 to 15 author clients, mainly with the printed edge features, with a couple of other things of helping authors kind of shepherd their book forward. We also brought on Mark, who is another engineer who's really sped up our development. Oh my gosh, he is an amazing engineer. And our next milestone that we are hoping to hit is actually in May, June, when we will do one of our first book blasts and hopefully get those converted users into our marketing platform. So it's not just the closed beta. Mm-hmm.
Way to go. Wow, thank you so much. Let's give another huge hand to all of our finalists for all their great work and their great pitches. So now it's time for deliberation. So judges, we're going to head off to our top secret location for deliberation. And I'm going to hand the mic back to Val. We're going to do our People's Choice voting now.
All right, everybody get out your phones. Your laptops.
All right, so on the screen, you're going to see a Menti QR code. Hopefully, when you get to that screen, you will have 5 choices of our companies tonight.
Hello again. Welcome back. Our judges had some very careful, at times heated, just kidding, deliberations. I do believe it was a very difficult decision because all of the companies are amazing. Let's give all the companies another round of applause. I would like now to welcome Kaylin Oliver to the stage to say a few words about the Min Cup.
Hi, everyone. Let's hope I don't trip over a cord up here. Well, first of all, thank you all for being here, taking some time out of your Thursday to either pitch or be here to support our founders today. Emily was right. It was a very hard decision. You'll hear the winner later, but I just want to say congratulations to every single entrepreneur in the room today, whether you pitched or didn't. You did a fantastic job. And I hope to see every single one of you applying for Minnesota Cup, which leads me into what is Minnesota Cup. My name is Caitlin Oliver. I'm the director of a program called Min Cup. We are based at the University of Minnesota, under the Carlson School of Management, under the Home Center for Entrepreneurship, which is a fun little game. But we are here to support entrepreneurs and early stage founders across Minnesota. So we're the largest statewide startup competition in the nation. And every year we open a annual application for our competition that is completely free. And it is open to any Minnesota-based entrepreneur that is under $1 million in annual revenue, which means we are looking across industries and across all those early stages. You can just have an idea written on the back of a napkin and still be eligible. Right. I love that reaction. That's great. So what we do is we run this competition, you fill out the application, and we take the top 90 companies and startups across Minnesota that really demonstrate that they are leading change, they are a good fit, they are taking the right steps. And we are going to provide what you need to get to that next level. So that means mentorship, education, networking and publicity opportunities. And at the end of the day, the most carrot on the stick part of this is that we give away $400,000 in non-dilutive, so no strings attached cash prizes every year. So like I said, this is a completely free program. Everything we do is just to help Minnesota entrepreneurs. We're here to build an innovative economy here in Minnesota and support the ideas that you all have in this room. Whether you are a founder, you know a founder, I encourage you to tell folks in your networks or you yourself apply for this. Applications are open right now. Go to mincup.org. They close on April 11th. And I just want to say thank you to Ignite Minnesota because they have been a long-term partner. We're talking about 10 years that we've been doing this, as the winner of the competition tonight will feed automatically into the Minnesota Cup as a semifinalist. So we are very excited. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks again to our judges for all of your work. And now I'm going to welcome Tim back to the stage with the big checks.
Fun part of the night for me because I get to hand over this supersized check to the third place.
Yes.
Winner. And tonight, and just so you know, we'll get your contact information and we'll do the formality of transferring some dollars to you and your business.
He means it's not a real check.
Yeah. But I didn't bring real checks with me. So we have these pretend checks. And the first one for third place goes to Grow with Flora.
Grow with Flora, third place.
One right away and then we do more, so don't leave. We'll do more later.
Don't leave. Yeah. All right. Now I want to make sure I got the settings right. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I wanted to try it. You know what? That looks pretty good, but hang on. Just hang on. Well, you know. Okay. 1, 2, 3. I like that better. Good job.
Yay. Congratulations. All right. And now we will announce our second place winner.
All right. Second place winner, Genogram.
Thank you.
All right.
Yay! All right, guys, same deal. We're gonna do one this way, 1, 2, 3, and then we're gonna do another one the other way. Very professional. 1, 2, 3. There you go. Thank you.
Congratulations, Genograms. All right. And now for our first place. Yes.
There we go. Hope Technologies. Congratulations. Yep, go ahead.
We got one more.
All right. Oh, here we go.
Kathy.
Slide on in.
Let Kathy.
No problem. Go right in there.
It's a group project. All right, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then be patient with me. Hang on. One more this way. 1, 2, 3. Good job.
Right.
Congratulations. We'll take some more pictures. Congratulations. All right, and when Peggy gets done hugging, I'm going to call Peggy to the stage. This is Peggy Paul with Smith, Southern Minnesota Initiative Foundation. She's going to announce our People's Choice Award. You don't know who it is.
It's like, I don't know who it is. I'm going to try not to cry, but I lost my mother in November. And Dr. Chen was her mother, or her doctor. And she is a very special woman to me and how she cared for my mother. So I'm just very pleased. Yeah. Yeah, and really everybody had, a tie to me personally in some way. So it was just quite a night. It was amazing. Okay, we're gonna say who the People Choice winner is. Oh. Oh. I know. Do we have any guesses? Hope Technologies. Again. Yay!
Come on over here. No. Get in there. Everybody get in there.
I don't want to.
All right. Well, we got it. All right. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. I am now going to call Beth Beneke to the stage, owner of Busy Baby and one of our judges. We have a special new award that she has given to us to give to a winner.
So I think I know a lot of you in the room, but for those of you who don't know me, I'm Beth Beneke. I walked into this building with Mark Thine, where are you, Mark, holding my hand from the SBDC because I had an idea for a baby product and I didn't know what to do with that idea. And Neela Molgard was here that day, and those two helped point me in the right direction. And I competed in the Ignite Cup and won 4 years ago, which led to my third year in the Minnesota Cup. And I competed for 3 years. My first year, I only had prototype drawings. I didn't have a product yet. And even though there was zero chance of me winning that year with just some drawings of a baby product, I got mentoring, I got resources, I got publicity, I got more people in my network who could help me grow my business. So no matter what, I encourage everyone with a business idea or a friend who has a business idea to apply for the Minnesota Cup. This award, I've been wanting to do this for a while, and I hope to grow this award to be something bigger, is the Busy Baby First Steps Award, because even in our very first steps, when we're not in the place where we're going to win the Minnesota Cup or make nationwide impact, we still have a great idea and enthusiasm, and we just need a little help getting there. So I am giving out a $500 award to Wren Writing to help support you on your journey to make your next first steps.
Thank you so much. All right. Thank you.
That Wren also will get the students.
Yes, thank you. Wren automatically gets a student seat in the Min Cup. So congratulations to you. So congratulations to all of our finalists and winners. Finalists and judges, we would love a chance to take a bunch of pictures after this. So when we kind of wrap things up, if we can step over here, we'll do a whole bunch of different pictures. And I want to say to all of you, thank you so much for coming tonight to show your support for entrepreneurship in Southern Minnesota. As Amanda Leitner of Collider said at their Collider Cup on Tuesday, we all have a place in this entrepreneurial ecosystem. How can we each support the entrepreneurs that we know in our lives? I hope you are all able to connect with the entrepreneurs here tonight, as well as the many amazing resources that we have in this region who support them. We want to thank our funders again for their work and financial support this evening. Thanks again to Smith, who provided cash prizes and financial support for this evening. Thank you to Destination Medical Center, Launch Minnesota, and the Minnesota Department of Employment and Economic Development. Thank you again to the team at Ignite for all of your work, all of the E1 partners, and the EDA. Be sure to leave your lanyards in the basket on your way out. And there are very fun swag bags out there for you as well. Thank you so much for coming. Have a great night.